is really attacking your mind. Gender war. You don't need it. See, gender war has been since God knows when. Till we leave, there's still going to be gender war, but we have to be careful. Do not be ignorant of the devices of the enemy. And so that gender war mentality is what most people bring into the marriage, and that's why I see that 2 years, 3 years, the marriage is gone. Why? Because everyone is on. We have
feminists. We have
guard. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to say that before you know it, nothing is working?
Gender wars. I really wonder how that even became a thing. I started hearing, what are you bringing to the table? And I'm wondering, table will go.
And that's the way the devil destroys the family unit. It takes the importance away. And then you start thinking it's not important. Right now, we have a lot of people who are saying family is not important.
Yes, I have those people around me. Yes.
There are a lot of
marriage is a scam.
You understand? And that is the seed the devil has been sowing over the years. In fact, his generation.
His generation.
Yeah, the generation it belongs to. I doubt if 40% of them have the mind to get married. Yes, now.
Or even have plans to have
children.
Stable homes. Yes, stable homes.
Just take a look at what is happening in the entertainment industry. We started hearing baby mamas.
If please, I did not know what that meant until recently.
You understand? So, and when you go back and check it, that word baby mama has even been around since God knows when. But all of a sudden, it is taking the front burner right now.
Yes, like a legal status.
People are looking at it as, okay, this is an option. I don't want to stay with a woman.
Yeah. So I can have a baby now.
I can have a baby. Stay one side, take care. And unfortunately, a child needs both parents to grow up. So that we see,
have proper examples.
Yes, proper example. Unfortunately, we don't have that. We have a lot of dysfunctional
families. And I realize that some of that dysfunctionality also stems from dysfunctionality that was seen.
Yes.
I'll hold my comment until we get to that particular video of that dysfunctionality, because we've turned it into a license to misbehave. But it's not. All right, this has been quite insightful. The next slide says, or the next major point I want us to look at, it says our homes can't be ignited in love if we're still holding back from letting go. Don't stop your destiny from flourishing. And that was Pastor Beams. And Pastor Beams, I loved the progression of the service. We saw a lovely young couple talking, loving up on themselves on the altar, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then Pastor Beams came, and as led, she began to say things, because I also felt a heaviness in that room at some point, because people would have been looking at the couple of them like, oh, nice. What happened to mine? And then I'm sure some kids in that room would have like, but why is my daddy and my mommy not like that? Yes, and the moment Pastor Beams came up, I said yes. She got the vibe in the room. She understood what God really needed her to do. Can we just take a look at I didn't take the whole portion of what Pastor Beams did, but we'll explain it after. Can we just take that video? Pastor Bimbo Okutiyang. The video of Pastor Bimbo. Because sometimes okay. Can we have the sound?
Ministering to my heart that he's the first surgeon. He is the first surgeon. He performed the very first operation, and that was in the Garden of Eden, where he put Adam to sleep and cut him open and took the rib and created the woman. So he said there are many people hurting in this place. And he wants to perform that surgery. Now, when he said many people, I thought, okay, maybe husband and wife. He said no, children inclusive. They're disappointed. They're disappointed about the way the family is. They're disappointed about things they've seen their parents do. There's so much disappointment. So I'm not going to call you out, but I want every eyes closed and every head bowed. You just want to talk to yourself. The Spirit of God is here and he's heavy with the healing anointing, and he wants to perform that surgery to cut out that pain or that hurt. You know, some of us will hug this hurt, you know, and then they will start saying things like, my daddy did this to me, I'm 55 now, I've not forgotten what my dad did. Let it go. Let it go. There's more. Our homes can't be ignited in love if we're still holding back to these hurts. So you want to let go. Please let go. Children, forgive your parents. When you get older, you would understand why they did it. But don't let it stop your own destiny from flourishing. Wives, forgive your husbands. Husbands, forgive. If you're single, forgive. Forgive. Some people even hurt because their husbands even passed on, or their wife passed on, and they're saying to themselves, that wasn't the deal, that wasn't the agreement, and they're still hurting. Please, there is a balm in Gilead this morning. Every eye is closed, and communicate with your Father. At this time, the Holy Spirit is just doing a quick walk in us. The master surgeon is cutting out. He's done it for me before. He will cut out that hurt. You will look for it, you won't find it. You will try to remember. You will remember, but the pain won't be there. Just release yourself. And as you release yourself, if you can, call the person's name and say, I release you. Call the person's name. Say, Imbim, I forgive you. Call his name, call her name. You will find out that you might not be able to do it easily. Healing. Until you can say it easily, then you know you've released the person. Children, don't be left out. You're terribly disappointed with your parents. You thought by now it should be different. Children wonder, how come Dangote is Dangote? Does he have two heads? You want to ask the Holy Spirit, just let go, let go, let go, let go. Let go. He's the balm in Gilead. Release it.
All right, I think that's it. And
then
okay, you know that portion.
You
that was a
have
break.
forgiven this guy for what he did to you, and I was like, no, me, I forgive.
You can stop it, yeah. So one thing she was trying to deal with here was the issue of forgiveness.
Until I said it,
and
with comfort.
Forgiving hurts, because sometimes our parents don't realize that they set the stage for a lot of stuff that haunts us as we grow. Because when she said children, you need to let go. I was talking with someone today, and the person was like, it looks as if African parents don't even realize that. They don't even try to get into the heads of their kids to understand, these are my actions, these are my mannerisms, my behaviors. How is it affecting these children? And then when they react, we go, why are you being naughty? Why are you being this? And there are so many marriages who have a lot of hurt. So I was really tripped when she did this on Sunday. I want us to touch on this a little bit, and I want to start from you. And don't tell me you're not married, you cannot answer. You answer this question.
So obviously, everyone is a function of one family or the other, and for me as a young person, even as a single person, I see this a lot. Even in normal friendships, you can tell that this person is carrying carrying dysfunctionality. This person is a bag of dysfunctionality that they have refused to let go. Maybe it's hard, and I like the fact that it's hard, right? But that's just the word. How long? How long? And I don't know if you can recall that when I was giving an example of the fact that people carry that dysfunctionality, the one they got from their homes, from where they are coming from. Your father did this, your mother did this. Yes, you said you have forgiven, but really, have you really forgiven? Maybe it's hard to forget. Yes,
we don't really forget stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, when you remember, how does it make you feel? Do you still feel that anger inside you? And that is what people still carry on into their relationships. Let me even, since I'm single, let me limit it to relationships. You can tell, you hear stories and like, oh really? I can tell that this person has not let go of certain baggage from where they are coming from. So there's that need, and I feel that these are the things people in relationships should talk about.
That should be that should be the topic of discussion.
Exactly.
During courting, during
Thank
dating.
you.
Yes.
In your dating experience, in your courting experience, do you have people in your life
that have shown you pepper,
and you're still holding them? Because whether you like it or not, all of those things will play out.
Yes.
Even before marriage.
Yes.
It will play out. So I believe that these are the things, conversations that people in relationships should talk about. Do you have any hurt from your past? Your father, certain things have happened. How far? Are you willing to talk about them? Right. So that's it for me.
Before I let Pastor I remember I know someone very, very close to me who vowed that she wasn't going to get married because of what she saw her father do to her mother. And she vowed. And she stood by that. She's in her 50s today. She's not married, but she's in a very dysfunctional relationship. And I call it dysfunctional because it's a same-sex relationship. And of course, somebody who has father wounds, she's the male. In that,
I can sense where that I've seen
yeah, that's how terrible. Not letting go. You're not destroying the other person. The other person has done it, has moved on, but you become bound by the effects of wounds that where you refuse to let heal and let go of. And they wonder, how did you get married? They're like, that's where Jesus comes in, because if we should look at where we are coming from. Also, please, I want you to speak to that.
So I'm trying to look at where I would take it from. So there's bitterness, there's resentment, then ultimately unforgiveness. So it's almost like a step after each other. So bitterness will set in, and if we don't take care of it, it grows into resentment. Witchcraft. And from there, that unforgiveness thing. I like the fact that Pastor Beams was sensitive, very sensitive, and in fact, she tilted the service on Sunday.
Yes, she tilted the course of that
and
service.
just made her to understand that with all these values, we still need God to give
Yes.
us. And maybe because my family, our values are not like that. Of course, I've seen my mom show signs of unforgiveness. A lot. All these, how will I put it? older people, they will always have something against other family members, and seemingly you children will pick it up.
And it becomes a
But
stronghold.
yeah, it becomes a stronghold. But I think lately now, I've seen her made a U-turn. Those same people she thought were against her then, she's making peace with them and she's reaching out to them, and yeah, that's good. And so you have to be intentional about it, because just like Sister Bim started, she said, God is the first surgeon. A lot of us, thank God we went through it on Sunday. A lot of us had to go through that surgery so that we can be healed and become better people. But then a lot of people out there don't have this access. So we need to bring this word to them. That whatsoever bitterness, resentment, or forgiveness that have been with them over the years, there is a balm in Gilead for it. Because that is the joy of serving God. You just discover that all those things that you feel like heavy, you can't let go.
You can.
By the time a touch from God, so it makes me remember, because when you were going to push it to me, you talked about Jesus. Don't forget, on the cross, it was hot. They pierced the side, drew, but then when he came back, or when he rose, he came to show that he's healed. And that is the same.
And held no grudge.
That is the same feeling, the same thing he has told us, that is possible. That no matter the hurt, no matter the piercing, no matter whatever,
you can forgive.
We can be healed.
And you can be healed.
Somewhere in the Bible, and I always like using it, Stephen was being stoned. And for preaching the gospel, you could have said, God, deal with them.
Deal with them.
But he didn't. Don't forget, Elijah did. In this same Bible, Elijah, they were making fun of him, and he told Pierre to come out.
And the 40 children,
You understand? But in his own case, Stephen knew he couldn't go on it was at the point of death, but the last word he was saying is,
Father, forgive
them.
They don't know what
they do not know what they do. And that was what was able to bring into the way.
Into Paul,
Yeah, because don't forget, it was the one who was supervising the death of Stephen. So that singular statement, forgive them for they do not know what they do, or do not lay this to their charge, was what was eventually used in bringing Paul or Saul into the way. And of course we know what he did for the gospel. So we need to learn forgiveness. We need to intentionally seek forgiveness. The Bible says we should even, I think it's the Lord's Prayer,
Father, forgive us as we forgive those trespass against us.
Which means if we want God to forgive us our whole
we
sin,
have to forgive.
We have to forgive others.
Wow, awesome. And when I felt the atmosphere on Sunday, and I saw people really bowing down their heads and praying and talking, and then she moved on and said, "Oh yeah, husband and wife, wherever you are, locate yourself. Locate yourself." And then she began to make them take specific actions. Begin to affirm yourself. And my eyes just went to Pastor Francis and Auntie Eja, like, yay, Lord. Like you could see a couple that nothing is getting in between us. Like this is solid. You could see them affirming each other. You could see them praying over each other. You could see them taking I'm sure that those phones have many pictures. They just did it out of her mind. They said we should take picture. But you could actually see a couple that, and I'm not saying that because it's here. You could just see a couple that, that these people are tight. I see Pastor Francis actually open the door for stage, and I'm like, hey, Father, where are you? Because those are little things and matter. I know women, we have it after a while, it becomes our kids' pictures that we have on our phone. But I love when she said, put that picture you just took, put it on your phones. We need to be deliberate. We need to be intentional about the things we do as a couple, as a family, because the kids are watching. The kids are picking up on these things, and if we don't forgive, then we have automatically created a toxic environment for the kids to grow up in. Because the Bible says, where there is bitterness, therein lies every form of evil. So mommy and daddy are bitter to each other. You have created a toxic environment, and whatever happens to your kids will be nobody from your village. It will be the atmosphere you are allowed in your home. And I'm hoping that those who are listening, please be intentional about loving up on your spouse. Be intentional about doing that. And then we went, and then Pastor Francis came. You know, once he just came, I said, yeah, icing on the cake. Icing on the cake. And then he said, every relationship is a vehicle, including your marriage. Every relationship. If you know where you're going, if you know what your purpose is, if you know who you are, then you will begin to know you begin to look at the relationships around you, and you begin to find their relevance and their meaning. Please can we watch that video, because it's very critical to everything we do as a family and as a couple. Yes.
Almost all of us come from a dysfunctional family. I'm sorry. Even Jesus, Joseph, David. It's not the fact that you come from a dysfunctional family that defeats you. It's your attitude to that family. You have to make that shift. That's what Mr. Okutiyang did for us just now. Make that shift. I preach at weddings, and I always preach the same message. Same message. I try to embellish it a little bit. Never really preached it in church on Sunday. Marriage is not a destination, it's a vehicle. Let me explain it. Every relationship you are, the relationship you had with your teacher was a vehicle to take you somewhere. The relationship you had with your father was to take you somewhere. The relationship you had with your brothers was to take you. The relationship you have with me right now as the pastor of this church is still to take you somewhere. Every relation, the relationship you have with God is to take you somewhere. And I always tell people, imagine a husband and a wife who just got married and are coming all the way from Lagos to see their in-laws in Ibadan. A wife, 2 children, sitting at the back of this beautiful Lexus, driving all the way, and they have a flat tire on their way from Lagos. They all stop, they all work hard, they fix the tire, and they keep going. Finally, they get to Ibadan, they say hello to their parents, and then they decide, we're going back to Lagos right now. And along the way to Lagos, they enter into that redeemed mountain of fire, go slow. And for 7.5 hours, they can't move 500 meters. Same car, same Lexus, same luxury, same AC, same 2 children, same husband and wife. And there's a little space in front of the car. And the wife says, honey, move forward. You look at her and say, my leg has been on this clutch for 6 hours. Come and drive yourself. Or Junior at the back of the car says, mommy, tell my sister to stop cramping my space. Say, Junior, if you open your mouth, I will drop you on this expressway right now. You will walk to Lagos. Same wife, same husband, same car, same road, same country. What's the difference? Why is this loving couple who could overcome flat tires, overheating engine, who could overcome anything coming from Lagos, all of a sudden are irritating each other? It's because one vehicle is going somewhere and the other one is stationary. Once you don't know where you're going with your relationship, anything will hinder you from going forward. What's the purpose of your marriage? What's the purpose of the relationship I have with you? People say, should I have a girlfriend in school? Well, if she's going to help you score your marks in school and succeed, yes. If it's to get married, you're not ready. Every relationship is a vehicle, including your marriage. If you can fix where you're going. Have you noticed most cars have only one steering, one driver? Have you noticed that? And have you noticed that sometimes the wife drives? And sometimes the husband drives. The vehicle doesn't really care.
The vehicle doesn't really care. Marriage is neutral. Really. It's the two, both of you, that will really determine. I want us to speak to that. This is the last video, and I want us to spend a little more time and deal with this, because when we say marriage counseling, I think these are the kind of things that should be said during the marriage counseling meetings. Why are you two even together? Why did you come here? Is it to have children? If that's the purpose, please go back. Go and figure it out before you come back. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. The single person in the house. Yes. Why do you want to get married? Is that your sister?
We are still looking on.
We're still looking okay.
Yeah. I like the fact that it's basically relationships, marriage, friendship, father to mother. It's a vehicle, right? It's a vehicle, and there's got to be but to make it deeper, right? Because it's now two, one person and the other. So I believe it starts from dating again. Okay, I like you. I think I like you too. Okay, we are here. Where is this going? And for people, we would like to take this for a joke, to say, what are we? As far as I'm concerned, it's a very valid question. What are we? Yes, we are dating, but really, what are we? Where is this going? Yes, where is this going? And where it is going, is this somewhere that I desire to
want
be?
to go to?
Thank you.
But before you get to where are we? Why are we? Is this where I want to go to? Before both of you became exclusive, didn't you know where you wanted to go to in the first place?
But then, it's now deeper than just ordinary. We are friends. It's now deeper than it's just my boyfriend, my girlfriend. Now it's serious. What has this has got to be deeper than I like you, you like me. We have mutual feelings, because feelings can die. Feelings can die. And I think that's also part of the essence of the vehicle part. What's that essence? What's the substance? And like I said in the commentary on Sunday, that it's different for everybody. Where this couple is going is different. And I also like to make it, and I think it's also based on individual purpose. For example, Mary's purpose was family.
Yeah.
Mary, mother of Jesus, was family. So if she got it wrong with the kind of man she met, we won't be saying what we are saying right now.
True.
Right? Someone like Hannah, for example, she understood a role, right? And so I think that to make it deeper is that even individuals must know their own purpose. Know who you are. Know your purpose.
Yes.
Real story. Hey God, I was chatting with a friend today. Real story. Who was lamenting about the fact that there was this lady that had been going out, and the lady agreed to dating and all of that, and in the process, and the guy wants to take it further, and she all of a sudden said she wants to pray about it. Okay, didn't you know all of this before now? Okay, I need 1 month to pray about it. Okay, pray. Yeah, been now 1 month after, I'm still praying about it.
She has the answer.
So it then occurred to me that it's not when you get there that you start praying.
Exactly.
You must know your purpose.
Yes.
Let God reveal who you are to you. Then let Him show you what you need. Right? So that when the person comes, you can either say no or yes immediately. Right? And I know that while these things can look complicated as it is, we just have to open our spirit man, so that when it gets to when the rubber meets the road, or how do I put it? It's working properly.
You see, the trick is, even if you ask those questions and you know who you are, you can still meet roadblocks in front.
Yes.
So imagine the person who asked all those questions, who understood who they were to a certain extent, and then they felt that this person appeared to be, where they were both going, and then you meet a roadblock. Then talk us of the person who doesn't even know where they are going in the first place. You're just rolling through life. You're just rumbling. You don't have direction. You don't have a purpose. You don't know who you are. You don't know where you are. They say, go and read Miles Monroe book. You say you cannot read. And then you're just blundering through life. Then you meet a young woman, a young sister, daughter of Zion. And you say, let's go. Please, where are you going? Because you don't even know yourself first. And that's why I always love going back to the Garden of Eden. Adam had seen all the animals. All of them. He was working. He was seeing them. And he said, none of these ones. Even God had to say, this guy has not seen anything that suits him. Come, let's make. And the moment they brought Eve, the guy by himself said, aha. Do you understand? How many people actually know who they are first before they start hunting? Or before they have friends? Or do you, like Pastor Francis said, do you know your relationship with me and you as your pastor? Because when we also miss that relationship, we miss what God wants to do in church through him, because we don't understand the relationship. The fact that your mother gave birth to you, you also don't realize that relationship has a purpose. It may have just been the delivery part and that ends it. But there may be more to it. But say, I want you to talk. I want you to speak on that.
All right. What we're talking about it when Pastor was ministry and was talking about every relationship has a destination or a purpose.
A purpose.
There's this common saying out there. They say there's a friend for a season, a reason, and a lifetime.
Yes.
So we need to understand that, because reason, season, and a lifetime. Lifetime is ultimately marriage.
Okay.
Maybe, or for a life.
There's some people that will always be in your life. Yes, they'll be in your life forever. Yes.
So when you look at the Bible, is it Jacob was willing to do extra to get the love of his life?
14 years for Rachel.
14. Because that was
what he wanted. That was what he wanted.
Knew. Don't forget, if we still look at the old, when they were trying to get a wife for Isaac too, and they sent the servant to go and
Eliezer,
immediately Isaac saw her from afar.
He came down.
It was like, this is my wife.
Yeah.
Now, we may not all have that experiences. We might not. We not. We have different experiences. I was trying to play back how many girls or ladies did I date before but surprisingly it's just 2 or 3.
Aww.
So the first one, we actually had a plan. I met her when I was in the university. We were friends. In fact, I always start everything from the basis. I want to understand you because I'm erratic. So you need to understand me so that when I'm doing my strong game,
you are displaying.
Yes, you will not say, So you will really understand that, the reason why this guy is doing this is a normal thing. It will come back full circle.
Yeah.
So we're friends for maybe 4 years. Then suddenly my sisters and her friends started saying, you guys are more than friends. What we are seeing, of course, I saw it, but I was biding my time because she was just in part 2. And I was like, I was in final year. No, I can't start. But we maintain friendship. So I just turned the table and we're like, okay. But unfortunately, it turned into a long distance relationship. She went to Futmina. I was in Meduguri. So
it's a long distance relationship.
That was when mobile phone just came. So we're still doing letters and stuff like that. Well, we still maintain. But the interesting thing is the friendship thing to date. We are still friends.
Nice.
Even though she's married, in fact, she will call her husband and say, "Come and speak to my friend." Or, in fact, she speaks with my wife.
Nice.
And they will be talking. You don't know what you lost. You'll be like, "I know what." You know, those kind of funny things. But along the line, she just thought, no, she's not going any further. And she decided to pull back. I was pained, but I had to move on. In fact, she pulled back on the very first day I started walking. And I was like,
chop breakfast.
"You waited all this day for me to get a job, and then you pulled back."
Not serve you breakfast.
I was like,
sorry.
"No, don't do this." But her mind was made up, and I had to let her go. But almost immediately, you know, when you have a heartbreak, you almost immediately want to
have a rebound. Yes.
So I did a rebound. But
Pastor
I did that rebound with sense. In fact, I'm serious. The lady I met was almost like a lookalike. But when we started having conversation,
good job.
talking, she was still in school. She was already thinking of Jackpa. This is 2005 or 6.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, still in school. I have a good job, banking.
Yeah, not going the same direction.
I'm not going anywhere. What do I want to go and do? So I just discovered that no, this one is looking for a ticket out of the country. So I draw back. And interestingly, the third person happened to be my wife, of course.
Was Mrs.
Yeah, we met in church, and we met in a funny way. I can't remember what I was doing, but I think I went to Lagos. I was doing side hustle. I was selling cufflinks and some other things. I was making shirt before I started the banking job. So I was still doing that. So on one of those trips, we stumbled into each other at Ujuelegba. And she was like, "What are you doing? I know you in Jesus Embassy."
I almost sang part of the song.
But you need to, so I was just like, I know you in the choir. She was in the choir then. I was like, "I know you too." And interestingly, it was like, "What do you do?" "I work here, I do this, I do this." I was like, "Me too, I work in a bank, but I sell this cufflink." She was like, "Bring it, I will help you sell it in my office." And of course, we started that relationship. In fact, it took us, I think this was 2007, it took us almost 2 or 3 years after to start convincing ourselves that it's like we can do this journey together.
We can do life together.
You understand? We can do life together, as in we
like that.
understand each other. And from there, I think that's how it happened. So what I want to stress is the fact that you have to know where your vehicle is going. You have to know the purpose of every relationship. Some is for a time, a reason,
a season,
and a lifetime.
Awesome. I'm sure that you've got some relationship tips and marriage scope from Pastor Teye there. It's been an awesome time tonight. And we just want to leave you the truth that you remember that regardless of the dysfunctionality of your family, you can make that shift. If I begin to say how dysfunctional a family I'm coming out from, it has taken nothing but the grace of God to be where I am right now. And I know that if I tell people if I can be this, then the dysfunctionality in your home is nothing. Just make the decision to make something out of your life. And we've practically come to the end of today's service. If there's anything you remember, please remember that you need to protect your home, because if you want a better Nigeria, then please protect your home. And if there's any hurt, whether you're a child, whether you're a father, whether you're a mother, husband and wife, please forgive, please let go, and always remember that to always know yourself and define the relationship and know where is it taking you to, where do you want it to take you to. So that we've come to the end of the Word Bank. Please join us. The offering account details are on the screen. Please send your offerings, and if you want to pay your tithe, please do so as well. And on Sunday, we've come to the end of our anniversary month, and it's been wonderful. It's been loaded, like loaded, and we're going to be having the one and only Paitowa, Pastor Bade Ogodana. He'll be here on Sunday 8 a.m. and also by 9:30 a.m. at the network service, and at 8 o'clock at the Real Success Seminar. Please don't miss it. You don't want to miss this Sunday service. You don't want to miss the end, this last Sunday in this month of October. And I'm just a sneak peek into November. We'll be looking at audacious faith. If you want to build your faith, if you want to know how to activate your faith and do crazy things for with God, please also join us in November, and you won't regret it. A time in TBN is always a time of refreshing and a time of learning. So till we see you next week, stay blessed. God